Indeed, Mum. I traversed half the town in search of it. There isn't a circulating library in Bath I haven't been at.
And could you not get the reward of constancy?
No, indeed, Mum.
Nor the fatal connection?
No, indeed, Mum.
Nor the mistake of the heart?
Mum, as ill luck will have it, Mr. Bull said Miss Sulky Santa had just fetched it away.
Did you inquire the delicate distress?
All the memoirs of Lady Woodford? Indeed, ma'am. I looked everywhere for it. And I might have bought it from Mr. Friedrichs. But Lady Slatin Lounger had just sent it home so soiled and dog-eared. It was unfit for a Christian to read.
Ah, I always know when Lady Slatin ever before me. She had most observing thumb, and I believe cherishes her nails for the convenience of making marginal notes. Well, child, what have you brought me?
Oh, here, ma'am. Here's The Man of Feeling and Peregrine Pickle. Here are The Tears of Sensibility and Humphrey Clinker.
Oh, here's someone coming. Quick, see who it is.
Oh, Mum, it's Miss Malaprop.
Here, my dear Lucy, hide these books. Fling Peregrine Pickle under the toilet. Here, throw Roger Graham and Brandon into the closet. Put the innocent adultery into the whole deity of man. Here, thrust those inward under the sofa. Cram Ovid behind the bolster. There, put the Man of Feeling into your pocket. Now, full then.
There, Sir Anthony! There stands the deliberate simpleton who wants to disgrace her family and lavish herself on a fellow not worth a shilling.
Madam, I thought you once...
You thought, miss? I don't know any business you have to think at all. But the point we would request of you is that you promise to forget this fellow, to illiterate him, I say, from your memory.
Madam, our memories are independent of our wills. It is not so easy to forget.
But I say it is, miss. There is nothing on earth so easy to forget if a person chooses to set about it. I'm sure I as much forgot your poor dear uncle as if he had never existed. But let me tell you, Lydia, these violent memories do not become a young woman.
Surely this young lady does not even pretend to remember what she was ordered to forget. This is what comes of her reading.
What crime, madam, have I committed to be treated thus?
Now, don't attempt to extirpate yourself from the matter. You know I have proof controvertible of it. But tell me, will you promise to do as you are bid? Will you take a husband of your friend's choosing?
Madam, I must tell you plainly, I have no preference for anyone else. The choice you have made would be my aversion.
What do you know about preference and aversion? They don't become a young woman. And you ought to know that it both always wear off. 'Tis safest in matrimony to begin with a little aversion. I'm sure I hated your poor dear uncle before marriage, and yet you are sensible what a wife I made. But when it pleased heaven to release him from me, 'tis unknown what tears I shed. But suppose we were to give you another choice. Would you promise to give up this Beverly?
Madam, if I promise that, I be lying.
Take yourself to your room. You are fit company for nothing but your own ill humors.
Willingly, ma'am, I cannot change for the worse.
There's a little intricate hussy for you.
It is no wonder that, madam. All that is the natural consequence of teaching girls to read. On my way hither, Mrs. Malaprop, I observed your niece's maid coming forth from a circulating library. She had a book in each hand. They were half-bound volumes with marble covers. From that moment, I guessed how full of duty I should see her mistress.
Those are vile places indeed.
Oh, madam, a circulating library in a town is as an evergreen tree of diabolical knowledge. You can depend on it, Mrs. Malaprop, that those who are so fond of handling the leaves will long for the fruit at last.
Fie, fie, Sir Anthony, you surely speak laconically.
Tell me now, in moderation, what would you have a woman know?
Observe me, Sir Anthony. I would by no means wish a daughter of mine to be a progeny of learning. I don't think so much learning becomes young women. For instance, I would never have her meddle with Greek, or Hebrew, or algebra, or simony, or fluxions, or paradoxes, or such inflammatory branches of learning. Nor would she handle any of your mathematical, astronomical, diabolical instruments. But, Sir Anthony, I would send her away at 9 years old to a boarding school in order to learn a little ingenuity and artifice. There, she should have a supercilious knowledge in accounts. And as she grew up, I would have her instructed in geometry, that she might know something of the contagious countries. Above all, she should be a perfect mistress of orthodoxy. That is, she should not mispronounce and misspell words, as our ladies of the present day constantly do. This, Sir Anthony, is what I would have a woman know, and I don't think there is a superstitious article in it.
Well, well, now, I shall dispute the point no further with you, Mrs. Malaprop. But I must confess, you are a most moderate and polite arguer, for it seems to me that every third word you say is on my side of the question. But now to the more important point in debate. You say you have no objection to my proposal?
None, I assure you. And as Lydia is so obstinate against him, I hope your son may have better success.
Splendid! I shall write for the boy directly. You know, he has no knowledge of this as of yet, but I have had this proposal in my head for some time now. I believe he is with his regiment presently.
We have never met your son, Sir Anthony, but I hope no objection on his side.
Objection? Ah! Let him object if he dare. Oh, no, Mrs. Malaprop. No, no. Jack knows that the slightest demur would put me into a frenzy directly. My process has always been very simple, Mrs. Malaprop. Why, when Jack was younger, it was, Jack, do this. And if he demurred, I knocked him down. And if he grumbled at that, I sent him from the room.
Well, severity is the best for the young. Well, Sir Anthony, I will prepare Mr. Akers for his discharge and prepare Lydia for your son's invocations. And I hope that you will represent her to the captain as an object not altogether illegible.
Yes, well, I shall handle the subject prudently. But I must leave you now, Mrs. Malaprop. Good morning to you. And I beg of you, Mrs. Malaprop, to enforce this matter roundly to the girl. Take my advice. Keep a firm hand. Good morning. And if she should object to this proposal, clap her under lock and key. Yes, that should do it. Good morning, Mrs. Malaprop. And if you should happen to have her servants forget to bring her dinner for 3 or 4 days, why, you have no idea how she'll come around. Yes, well, good morning, Mrs. Malaprop.
Well, at any rate, I shall be glad to get her from under my intuition. Lucy has somehow discovered my partiality for Sir Lucius O'Trigger. Oh, but the girl couldn't have known she is such a simpleton. Lucy! Lucy! Had she been one of your artificial ones, I should have never had trusted her.
Indeed, Mum, did you call?
Yes, girl, did you see Sir Lucius while he was out?
Oh, no, Mum, not a glimpse of him.
And you're sure, Lucy, you never mentioned?
Oh, Gemini, I'd sooner cut my tongue out.
Well, don't let your simplicity be reposed upon.
No, Mum.
So come to me presently, and I'll give you a letter for Sir Lucius. But mind, Lucy, if ever you betray what you are entrusted with, unless it be other people's secrets about me, you forfeit my malevolence forever, and your being a simpleton will be no excuse for your locality.
My dear Simplicity, let me give you a little respite. Let girls in my situation be as fond as they please of being expert and knowing in their trust. Commend me to a mask of silliness with a pair of sharp eyes for my own interest under it. Let me see to what account I've turned my simplicity lately. For abetting Miss Lydia Languish in design, running away with Ensign Absolute. In terms of money, £12.12. Gowns 5. Hats, caps, ruffles, etc. numberless. And from that said ensign within the last month, 6 guineas and a half. Item from Mrs. Malaprop for betraying the young people to her when I found matters were likely to be discovered. 3 guineas and a French shawl. Item from Mr. Akers for carrying divers letters, which I never did deliver. 3 guineas and a pair of buckles. Item from Sir Lucius O'Trigger. 4 guineas, 3 silver pocket pieces, and a silver snuff box. Well done, Simplicity.